map for the past 5 weeks. So I'm pretty sure they were quite happy about that one. Obviously, it gained them entry to not only the playoffs, but getting them forward up ahead of Orkskeeping Nualaoch. And I'm sure, as we saw, it's pretty scary to come up against Ominosun. Maybe not the most consistent team in the world, but definitely deserving of their third place seed. I think they're quite happy now that they're coming up against SCHWEINEAIM Racing instead.
And well, we're into the pick and bans. No real surprise, Gyroscope has already been banned away in our first of the best of 5 sets. We are 4 picks in, which means 1 more ban now for each team. It'll be Freestyle banned away. I'm going to guess Flip of Faith banned away. And it means Aero Pipes will be the decider if we get that far. It is still a relatively unusual first 4, both Agility Dash and Parkour making their way into it.
Fun fact, Agility Dash... Aero Pipes, is actually the second least DNF'd map over both leagues. Interesting, isn't it?
That's because
by percentage as well.
That's why the DNF happens because there's a timeout as well, and it takes the players a while to catch up. Everyone just crashes at the same time on Aero Pipes, and so it takes a long time. If everyone crashes, nobody's going to DNF. Yeah, exactly. I honestly would love to go back and see it. I reckon that has played a part in some of those rounds.
I'm still just waiting. Someday we'll see a series that is Agility Dash, Aero Pipes, Flip of Faith, Gyroscope, and reps. That would be even Parkour instead of reps. That would be amazing. I would love that. Someday we'll see that. I don't know whether it's in a different universe or something, but that would be pretty amazing.
It would be absolutely wild to see. We are going to get ready to get underway on our first map. Onto Slowdown we go, picked by SCHWEINEAIM Racing, but you have to get the feeling that BS+ Competition would have picked it if SCHWEINEAIM didn't.
Okay, well, here we are. You know what, look, it's weird not having the first game of the day. Obviously, I was late. That was my fault. I'm gonna own up to that one. I was not here in time, so you also had to give up your spot for the first series. But obviously, we left you in very capable hands. So the energy needs to, we need to start with high energy. This is interesting. This is different.
Yeah, hey, it's definitely not going to be a problem for us here, Twiggy. And, we're in game here. We're going to be underway, and we're going to see who gets out to a quick start here, because we did see in the last series exactly what happens when the quote-unquote underdogs do come out swinging. BS+ Competition will be looking to replicate what was pulled off in the previous series by the side of Orkskeeping Nualaoch, looking to maybe upset SCHWEINEAIM on the first couple of maps and take away the first set. As soon as you do, things get a little bit spicier.
Yeah, and as we see, everybody's staying up close once again. Barbos and Rakshit staying, well, I was going to say in first and second, but Rakshit has pulled away into first. Barbos moves down by just about a tenth, but everybody staying really tight together on this one. It's what we expect to see from Slowdown at this point. We're 8 weeks into the competition. We're seeing everybody get very, very competent at every single map. So it's going to stay close right up till the very end here. We'll see if anybody goes for a little flight here on the first round, but everybody stays close. No, Barbos, he'll crash into a tree. Rakshit stays in first place, but it may just be a draw to start things off. It looks like that's going to be the case. Coasts home. There we go. Draw to start things off.
Yeah, 56.6, a strong time to kick things off indeed. And of course, every team played this in every single one of their matches during the regular season, so we have a lot of data on how these teams will do. And SCHWEINEAIM Racing, despite being a very middle-of-the-table team, Twiggy, I'm surprised, looking at the stats here, they won 6 out of the 7 times they visited this map.
Yeah, look, part of that is Rakshit currently has the world record. I think is a big part of that one. Rakshit is incredibly competent on this map. He currently has a 56.404. That is the world record. And he's very consistent on it as well. I feel like SCHWEINEAIM Racing are one of the more consistent teams going. And when you're consistent and really fast on a map, it gets very difficult for your opposition to be able to keep up with you.
It will be tough, and we'll see if Ratchet can look to maybe improve that record. It'd be pretty impressive to do so in the playoffs here, and maybe not entirely necessary against BS+ Competition. I think consistency going to carry the day here, and we're looking at Barbos to see if he can get a clean round this time around as well. Snow will lead as we head into the identity for a second time.
Well, Rakshit stays and moves into first place. I was going to say stays in second, but it's a little better than that. Barbos once again not making it through the identity. Rakshit comes home to another very good time. It's a sub 56.6, but it's another draw for the team. Barbos needs to step up to the plate now.
This is one of those situations, though, that's very, very scary for BS+ Competition. If Ratchet keeps pumping out these times, and I honestly don't see a reason why he can't, Barbos just needs to come third once, and all of a sudden it's a lead for SCHWEINEAIM. He comes third twice, and it's a bigger lead for SCHWEINEAIM. And if he manages to pull it all the way up onto second, it's an ace, and things start to get very, very difficult very, very quickly for BS+ Competition.
Yeah, that is the problem. And as long as Ratchet can just keep getting first places, there's no problem for SCHWEINEAIM Racing whatsoever. BS+ Competition are the ones that need to step up and need to get first places to gain them points. And this time around, if Barboss can just come third, doesn't matter, you just come third, you're still getting out ahead of BS+ Competition. And it seems like Ratchet, for the time being, is not slowing down whatsoever. It's not giving any leeway to the BS+ Competition players to get back into this one. He keeps on the pressure. Barboss, all he needs to do is get a couple points for the team.
All right, Barboss, do not crash on the identity this
Here
time. That is all you need to do. It's a big enough lead. 7/10 they lead by, and Barboss is keeping it clean. Snow goes between the trees, but is not going to have enough runway to catch up with his opponents on this one. Has closed the gap. It won't be enough. It's a relatively slow round from Ratchet, given the times he's been putting up previously, about a half a second down. But Barboss is up there alongside him, and, well, BS+ Competition, they are just slower.
He just took the inside line, not the inside line, sorry, he didn't go through the trees whatsoever. I think he knew that he had that half a second gap from the BS+ Competition players and just went, okay, gonna safe it, no problem, don't need to go for a world record time, I already have it. And just went for, you know, a safe line, something easy, something good. It's just good focus. He makes sure that he stays out ahead. That's all that matters in the end. It does not matter if you're putting together record smashing times, as long as you're staying ahead of BS+ Competition. And on a round like that where Barboss is stepping up to the plate, you need to make sure that you are securing the maximum amount of points possible.
Yeah, well, BS+ Competition, they have it all to do now in the back half of this map. They're probably going to need to pick up a couple of wins starting in this round. And they do have a chance. Ratchet leads. It's from Snow. It's from Glass. Barboss still very much in the mix there and will get an overtake. What is the line from Glass? He looks like he's setting up maybe to go between the trees. Doesn't quite go for it in the end. Snow is overtaking Barboss. Ratchet has made a mistake for once. Glass will fly out of the track, and that is a difficult respawn up front. It is going to be Barboss with the loss to Snow. And it does mean a draw for BS+ Competition, but Glass flying out, that may cost them come the end of this track.
Yeah, that was really where they wanted to grab some points back from SCHWEINEAIM Racing. There was a possibility that they got an ace in that one. Glass, you know, BS+ Competition, they looked very consistent. Maybe they haven't been putting up the same times as SCHWEINEAIM Racing here, but they were getting through to the end consistently and keeping on pressure on SCHWEINEAIM Racing. It just didn't happen that time around, and that may really come back to bite them as we move forward here, because SCHWEINEAIM Racing, seems like Barboss has very much cleaned up his act. And, well, although Ratchet hasn't got first places for a couple rounds here, you get the feeling that he can just pull them out at any time.
Yeah, definitely can. Well, you got to be scared of it right now if you are BS+ Competition. Of course, this is only map 1 of a best of 5, and it's only the first of 2 best of 5 sets, but you do need to try and, well, challenge your opponents, make them uncomfortable. There should be no such thing as a free win here in the playoffs.
No, it really shouldn't, especially not on slowdown. We're seeing everybody again staying incredibly close to each other. Barboss this time is in first place. Can he keep that position? Will he fly out once again? It seems like he's staying in first place. Ratchet overtakes 2 players. Snow goes back out ahead just about, but it is another 2 points for SCHWEINEAIM Racing. And they stay out ahead. They have not given BS+ Competition even close to a foothold in this map so far.
And it will be SCHWEINEAIM Racing now on track point already, 8 and 4. And the question is, can anyone step up? Interesting, Glass does have a PB that is a 56.4 on this map as well. It's very quick, potentially, but I think you're seeing the results of that, or why he has that PB, is because Glass is risking a lot more than Snow is in all these situations, and it is part of the reason they're so far down, because not able to get those times as consistently as, say, Ratchet is, or as Barboss is now doing it as well.
Yeah, I think the thing with Ratchet on this map is that not only does he not feel any pressure when he's on that slowdown identity, but he also keeps up the speed completely. Oh dear, there goes Glass and that. Oh, sorry, Snow, and that might just be the death toll here. SCHWEINEAIM Racing, all they need is 2 points here on this round, and they take slowdown again. They've done it time and time again. Can they do it one more time? They just need to keep it clean. Ratchet does not need to push himself too far whatsoever. If one player falls down to third place, not a problem. Barboss takes a little flight. Ratchet may just overtake him for first place, but it's still an ace to 56.7. Sorry, a very good time to finish things off. But SCHWEINEAIM Racing had it in the bag the whole time.
Yeah, that never felt in doubt. And well, looking at how the teams have performed on this map coming in general, I think, look, that's SCHWEINEAIM Racing picking up 8 out of 8 wins as they played this map in the Trackmania Challenger League. They're looking very strong on it, and there's a reason they came in wanting to pick this first. They wanted to start off the match strongly. BS+ Competition, they're going to look to fire back onto back and forth to try and do so. We'll see, right? That is Ratchet and Barboss both looking good today. Is going to make things very difficult for Snow and Glass.
Yeah, I think, look, here's the thing, is that SCHWEINEAIM Racing, although, you know, definitely, you know, we're looking at the seeding in this one and we're saying SCHWEINEAIM Racing, yes, they're the higher seed out of these two. I think there is a bigger gap than the seeding gives away. You know, they finished with a 3-4 each. I think SCHWEINEAIM Racing just generally have been more consistent and have had a few more unlucky series than BS+ Competition. I think that's accentuated, or at the very least, you know, you can see that in the map difference these two teams ended the regular season with. SCHWEINEAIM Racing with a +4 and BS+ Competition with a -2. I think SCHWEINEAIM Racing won 5 more maps overall. So I think you can kind of tell where that consistency comes in with them. They're pushing series further generally than BS+ Competition. Our BS+ Competition are going out a lot quicker in series. I think that's the difference maker right now. We'll see how it continues over the course of a series, because it's very possible we could have a very long, well, not even series, but set here.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, back and forth to me, looking at it, is an interesting pick for BS+ Competition as well. They've won once here out of 6 times, and they picked it 5 of those times. So it's a map that they clearly like, and maybe one they spend a lot of time practicing, but has been a struggle for them to pick up the wins when they need them. And I'll say it, in a best of 5, each win becomes that much more important. You really need to be picking them up early on in the set. And it's going to be close, but with Ratchet crashing out, it comes down to the line. Snow wins by 26 thousandths of a second, and Glast is allowed to cruise home to a 3rd place. It is an early round win for BS+ Competition.
That's very unfortunate. Ratchet really could have pushed there for that position. Snow may have given that up at some point, and where they were looking like they may have got 1st place in that one as well. So one, I mean, fair play. You're trying to overtake at that point. You really want to get that ace out of that round, squeeze as much time as you can out of the stone. And he goes a little too early. He bashes the pole. He goes into the drink, and that costs you dearly. But of course, you know, it's only 1 round. You're only down 1 point, so definitely time to get back into this one. But BS+ Competition are going to be thanking their lucky stars for the points that they got there.
Yep, having a lead for the first time in this match. It would be a shame to lose it directly into the next round, but at the moment, not looking too likely. Glast ends up a little bit wide on the exit, but still carries a bit of speed. It has allowed Barbos and Ratchet both through. They sit 1 and 2 as we round the last grass turn into this identity, looking for a clean entry from everyone. Ratchet nearly clips a wheel on the inside, but is safe for the moment, and it's up to Glast to try and get at least 1 overtake done. Snow is in the mix if something goes wrong for one of these players.
Oh, they're neck and neck right now. Can anybody get another one? Ratchet, he falls over again, and he falls back to 4th place, and it's just a draw. Once again, the final turn is Ratchet's undoing. That could have been an incredibly close round. They could have got an ace once again there. Glass contests for 2nd place and pushes that draw all the way through. But once again, it's just feeling like Ratchet is trying so hard to overtake at the end that he makes a mistake.
It's just missing that last turn. It really does seem to be a problem for Ratchet at the moment. I mean, look, Barbos still holds on. It's only a draw. It doesn't really change the face of this map at the moment. And with all of that said as well, you can see why the players are being forced to push. The winning time in that round at 58.1. The current Challenger League record at 57.7. These players are very much on the pace at the moment. All of them are pushing, and they're all making it towards the end more often than not together. So you're having to push. You're having to risk and try and make your opponents make those mistakes by pushing them harder than you're pushing yourself.
Yeah, but obviously, you know, whereas on last map, Ratchet could do that on slowdown all day and not have to worry about it whatsoever. He was so consistent on it. It was like muscle memory. This time, it's not the same thing. Barbos, he has a wheel clip. He falls back into 4th place. Now, this time, Ratchet needs to get this final turn good. He does. He stays out in 1st place. It's not a better turn from Snow. He gets that first. This time, he's the savior for SCHWEINEAIM Racing, and it's another draw, but they stay close to BS+ Competition.
Well, early match draws really do just ratchet the tension up, and I started that sentence without realizing I was going to use one of the players' names, and I apologize for it. But it's true, right? I mean, we're really not separating the teams out at all, and we're at a point now where an ace either direction suddenly catapults one of these teams into a track winning position. And the more draws in a row we get, or if SCHWEINEAIM managed to pick up a win and we go to tied on 5 and 5, this track and then potentially the match very much hangs in the balance.
It really, really does. This time, Snow is out ahead. We've seen pretty much every player in 1st place moving up towards the identity. It's all going to come down to how cleanly you get that. What a turn from Ratchet. He moves up well into third place. He has way more speed. He's going to take second place as well. Snow stays in first place. He's being harangued now by Ratchet and Barboss coming towards the identity. Glass is right behind as well. It's going to come down to a 4-piece as we move through into this one. Can Snow keep that lead? Can he take better turns? He goes wide. He has to release a little bit. Ratchet catches up. Barboss catches up. Oh, and there it is. Snow, he gets through. Ratchet again makes a mistake in the identity and again gives the round to BS+ Competition.
Not looking comfortable at all, Ratchet, so far on the map. And you have to feel SCHWEINEAIM Racing, they would be further up. They could potentially be winning this map right now. BS+ Competition, as things stand, 6 and 4. Still no track point available for them, but they are getting dangerously close to one.
Fair play to BS+ Competition, because maybe they haven't been putting up insane times when they've been winning rounds, but they have pounced on the mistakes of SCHWEINEAIM Racing so far. They have been there, they've been consistent, they've been getting through to the end completely perfectly, and that's all you need when your opponents are making mistakes. And this time, Ratchet really just isn't feeling the same way about this map that he did in the last map. He's not feeling like he can get through that identity without putting in full focus, and when you're putting in full focus, you can't focus on that overtake as well, because you're trying just to get round it and trying to get through as cleanly as possible. Can he do it? One more time. He's in first place. This is the best opportunity to get this done, but his teammate is already so far down that he has to get first here.
Yeah, he really, really does need to not make the error this time around, or it is BS+ Competition looking at an ace. It does look like he's going to do it. Glass is closing on him, but will not catch him. Runs out of space before the line. Ratchet holds on for a draw, but BS+ Competition moved to track point as a result.
Maybe it's a pressure thing. Maybe it really is for Ratchet here. Obviously, when you've got 2 players chasing you down and you need that first place, the pressure is high. But at the very least, you're not trying to squeeze out temps every single corner. I think for Ratchet, that really is the thing. When he has all players right next to him, just like there, I guess, technically, he's really trying to get every corner perfectly. And that can really, really play with you on that identity, you know. The corners are so tight. You can't squeeze much more out than you already get just getting through it.
Yeah, I think he played himself at the start of the map there. It is an area that we have seen mistakes before, but you really don't want to be making them now in a playoff situation. Those are the kind of things you'd be hoping had been cleaned up before we got into this situation, and it has left Barboss chasing the match, chasing the track right now in general. BS+ Competition, they are on pace for the ace at the moment, sitting 1-2, and Barboss, he does have the angle. He may be able to catch them here, but I think he's still relying on a mistake in the final turn.
He's got to get a really good final turn. He sets up nicely for it, but again, BS+ Competition are so clean on this map. It does not matter if they're putting together 57.7s. They're getting through to the end, and every single time, it's been pretty much perfect from BS+ Competition. No mistakes there whatsoever, and they take the map for it.
Well played by BS+ Competition. Their second win on the map in Challenger League. What a time to get it, to tie the match up here in the first series in playoff as well. And it's going to be now a closer match maybe than it looked on paper. SCHWEINEAIM definitely, I think, had a stronger regular season, despite the fact that both of these teams ended up tied on 3 and 4 coming in. I don't think it's unfair to say that SCHWEINEAIM had a stronger regular season coming in, but BS+ Competition, it may be a case of peaking at the right time, Twiggy.
It very much might be. You know, we have seen glimpses of Snow having really, really good stats. There's a reason when we look towards stats in terms of best times and in terms of, you know, his PBs have been absolutely brilliant. Yes, maybe he doesn't have as many records as other players, but he definitely is putting together incredible good times. Oh, Barboss, that's an immediate poll. The polls, they're still in this map. You don't get away from them. Oh, it's warm-up.
It's warm-up.
Oh, no, I've done your thing.
Twiggy,
I've done your thing.
They can't even see the match. Twiggy, they couldn't even see the match.
They couldn't even see it? Oh, never mind. Okay, no, that's fine then. That's fine. No, that's great. That's awesome. Well, they couldn't see it. Wait, were they looking at my face? Oh, no.
Yeah, they were watching you as you cast the warm-up. It's heartbreaking.
At least, no, you get an insight now into that was on purpose, so you guys can see what we look like when we're casting, you know, what we're focusing on. I need to get an eye tracker, and we can put that on next time as well, and you can get the full experience, you know?
No, then they'll see how much I pay attention to Twitch chat, and that wouldn't be good for anyone involved.
You look over every 2 seconds. To be fair, I have my stats and my Twitch chat on the same page, so I can get away with it.
That does make sense. Either way, Twiggy, look, this is a live round.
The video game.
It looks like. You can tell because there is no timer in orange over on the other side, and also there is still going to be a mistake. Glast has now dropped a long way back. No, it's not Glast, excuse me. It is Ratchet who's dropped a long way back. Glast is still in the running, but Barboss is racing away from both Snow and Glast. Out in front is a couple of tenths ahead. Looks like it'll be about 4 tenths by the time we hit this next checkpoint, but it is still all to play for. And well, actually the gap closed slightly this time around.
Sorry, I'm a bit flustered. Somebody in chat called my eyes prickly. I don't know if I can carry on. Hold on, you need to give me a second to... oh man, my cheeks, look, they're so red.
While Twiggy fans himself there and, you know, cools down a little bit in his room, Barboss is racing to the line and somehow Ratchet has caught back up. Despite making a mistake earlier in the map, his ear has overtaken Glast, and we are into the identity on agility dash for the first time. Glast just about holds on, trying to overtake Ratchet at the back, will not quite manage to do it as Snow is trying to chase down Barboss. I think everyone's keeping clean all the way to the end.
Nice.
It is processional through the agility dash identity, and we do not see that very often.
No, not whatsoever. Everybody puts together pretty good times there. You know, we're not contending with who was it, Mudder's time of 1:31.1, but at the same time, everybody put together a very decent time there. So I think we may see a very good agility dash. It's rare that we see a lot of close finishes on agility dash. It's great. It's like parkour, where we have like it completely catches you off guard when everybody's within half a second of each other by the end.
Yeah, it's genuinely surprising, not least because it is one of the longer tracks that we have as well, and definitely room for error in a lot of the lead up to it, as well as Snow has kindly demonstrated on this round, currently sitting 5 seconds behind, but you still need to put a clean run together from here on out. Ratchet makes another mistake on the same turn as last time, just managing to slightly touch a wall, lose a gear, lose position as a result, and we'll see if it holds until the finish line this time again.
Yeah, the pack is completely split apart this time around. Seconds between each player as we move forward. Barboss has got himself a 3/10 lead. Glast is well ahead of his opponent, but Snow is way out in the back. That is a full mistake's worth when it comes to the identity here. Somebody could respawn and still conceivably stay ahead of Snow on this one. So SCHWEINEAIM Racing are going to be very thankful for that opportunity, but can Glast keep himself between Barboss and Ratchet? Can he maybe overtake Barboss and get themselves a couple of points out this round? They really don't want to let this one slip to SCHWEINEAIM Racing. We've been playing best of 7s all series long. This time around, it's just best of 5s, but you got to play 3 of them. Barboss stays in first place. Ratchet is staying in third as well. Very clean through the identity once again. Maybe if there wasn't as much split between these players earlier on in the map, that would have been an incredibly good round, but Barboss is the one to take away that win there, and it gives SCHWEINEAIM Racing another round win.
That's a very solid time from Barboss up at the top. The 1:29.1 is, again, not particularly close to the current live world record, but is pretty close to Barboss and Ratchet's kind of personal bests on this map in general. So the players are driving to the limit of their abilities, and we would expect absolutely nothing less. With that said, there has been mistakes from both teams now over the first couple of rounds, and we'll want to see those start to get cleaned up, because the issue is nobody's really making those mistakes on the identity. The rest of the track seeming to cause them more problems.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Obviously, agility dash, there is no easy part of this map whatsoever. At all times, you're going very quick, and a tiny mistake, obviously, the higher speed you are, the smaller a mistake you need to make for it to count. Be very costly at the very least. Snow and Glast this time down a few tenths, but that is very much catchable as Ratchet and Barboss lead.
Yeah, and it is going to be a 1-2 for the cars in blue as we head towards the back half of the map. It does rhyme, and I love when that happens. Oh, didn't know it, Swan Swart, and whatever, Twiggy.
Wow,
look, I'm not the one with a musical background.
Very, very true, but also I have not used my musical background at all.
Yes.
I just went straight into, you know what, I'm just going to cast for my life. That sounds good. All good. Ratchet and Barboss in a 1-2 now. Can they get through to the end cleanly? Nobody's made a mistake on the identity so far. They need to keep that up if they want to pull out way ahead of BS+COMPETITION. Ratchet, he slows down a bit, but he's staying on the plastic for the time being. Snow and Glast are catching up. Can they get there in time? There it is, Ratchet. He falls off. L ratio, whatever you want to say. It's a draw.
And Barbos PBs in live rounds up at the front, and it doesn't matter because Ratchet has fallen off the track and out of contention in that round. SCHWEINEAIM Racing, they maintain their lead at 2 points, but BS Plus Competition are there to take full advantage of the first mistake we've seen from anyone in this match on that identity so far.
Yeah, wild. I can't believe it came in round 3, and such an important time for SCHWEINEAIM Racing to just make sure they cleanly got through to the end, get that ace, and you pretty much have this map in your pocket. Now they have to keep working hard. They are 2 points abreast still of BS Plus Competition, but that is definitely not something, well, that is something that we've seen overtaken over and over and over again in the regular season. Can they do it this time around? BS Plus Competition, it would be incredibly important if they did.
Yeah, this would be a big round to win for BS Plus Competition. SCHWEINEAIM Racing handing them a draw last time around, and if they can get further back into this match now, it'd be big. But you can see it, the pace from SCHWEINEAIM Racing up until this point is good. It'll be still a 1-2 for Ratchet and Barbos heading into the loop in the middle of the track, and Snow trying to go a little bit deeper inside, starts his drift much earlier, taking a very different line from the other 3 racers into that corner. It does seem to be paying off a little bit as he's going very deep into each of these turns. Snow doing a great job of getting himself back into this.
Yeah, Ratchet just about stays ahead, but they really have not maintained the 1-2 that they would have liked moving into the identity. It really just could come down to how cleanly they get through this one and how straight the line is that they take through the plastic here. And once again, it is going to be a 1-2 from SCHWEINEAIM Racing moving on into this one. Ratchet gets a second bite of the apple. Can he make it work this time around? He almost wheel clips, but he stays clean. He doesn't go too far right. At the end, he makes it through very cleanly. Barbos and Ratchet with their first ace of the map, and it's a very important one.
Barbos is kind of, I want to say quietly, but it's not all that quiet. Having an absolutely fantastic map. That is pretty much bang on a 128.88 again. That's, I think, within a couple of thousandths of this time he set in the previous round as well. He's won pretty much every round that we played so far, and is a big part of the reason right now that SCHWEINEAIM are up 8-3 on this track. And I think coming into today, a lot of people would have said, yeah, Ratchet the player to watch on this. Barbos looking to pick up the thirds would be great and in general. But here on Agility Dash, Barbos has stepped up massively.
Yeah, really massively. That's a very good sign for the team, is that, you know, obviously Ratchet had his heyday on Slowdown, which is just generally his map overall. It seems like the fact that Barbos can step up on other maps as well, and it's not constantly, you know, you just don't want to see a team where one player is putting together all the times and then the other player is falling behind and trying to catch up, Sprout, and it's just not a nice way to, because you're constantly on edge that whole time, and you constantly have to be putting together times that are amazing. This time around, it's looking like both players at the very least can turn up at different times in the series.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we'll talk more about whatever you were saying there later in the day in our upper bracket final, which is going to be an absolutely fantastic match. Looking forward to that one. Yeah. Seeing who's gotten the most sleep, as you know, there has been a bit of khaki going on.
I did notice that especially one player from each team was definitely on the khaki.
Really right there. A lot. Yeah,
well, we'll see. Once again,
round for Agility Dash. Barbos and Ratchet are sitting in the position they need, but Barbos, a first mistake on the identity in the track so far, and it is now turnaround. Could be an ace even. No, not quite. Glass crashes out, and it will be Snow crossing the line in first place. Ratchet in second, who gets there next. Glass looking like he had the easier to recover error, will still cross in third. 1 point for SCHWEINEAIM, still leaves them in a commanding lead on the track.
Yeah, I think you can see there that Barbos, I feel like we cursed him by saying he's been so clean on this map.
So good.
I mean, to be fair, you can see how he's going for those times that he is putting together, is that you have to go incredibly, you can't turn too much on the plastic. Obviously, you need to turn to be able to get to the next jump, but the straight-all, Glass, that is a weird wheel flip to have. The straight-all line you take, the quicker your time is, because as soon as you put in any kind of steering there on the plastic, you lose speed, and you keep losing speed all the way through the identity. Obviously, it's safer to go for a, you know, wavy line and try and get through to the end, but you risk getting overtaken. We see that a lot from Dexter, for instance, who just goes completely straight line, flies through to the finish line and overtakes so much in the identity. Luckily, this time around, there aren't as many sharks in the water. They can be a little more safe.
How many Australians you've been talking to? Sharks in the water? That's crazy, man.
How you going, mate? How you going? There you go.
You got shark in the water.
Shrimp on the barbie.
I don't know about the in it. Yeah, okay. Sorry to any of our Australian viewers, Mudda. I apologize for what Twiggy has made me do. SCHWEINEAIM Racing are looking to close this one out in this round, and Barboss in the lead. Look, it's going to be very difficult to get him to give up at least a top 2 at the moment. Ratchet is still sitting there, playing it a little bit more conservatively, and that's really all you need to do. If Barboss crashes out and Snow gets through in first place, it doesn't matter. He might overtake. It might be an ace to close things out. Do it in style. Barboss having to steer heavily in front, may get caught up to by Ratchet, yet Snow has trailed a long way back, and it'll be an ace up front. SCHWEINEAIM Racing in 12-5 fashion close out map 3 pretty cleanly.
Obviously, very important map for them to take, not just in terms of them getting ahead in the series, but it's their map pick. Obviously, you don't want your opposition to have the upper hand in both ways, not only in the series, but also in the fact that they took your map pick. So that's a very, very important one to take. I wouldn't be surprised if we go to 5 maps on five maps on both sets here. I wouldn't be that surprised.
Yeah, a potential for 11 maps overall, of course, in this format with 2 best of 5s and then a potential decider. And Twiggy, I'll say it, I think with 9 bans, if we get to that decider, it's always going to be slowdown, right? There's no chance we see any map except 100%. Slowdown in any of these deciders in the Challenger League.
Yeah, no, there's no chance. Like the fact that, because it's not. Honestly, they should just go random last map. I think that would be hilarious.
Full random, 10% chance to get gyroscope.
Exactly,
I'd take it at this point.
That's a higher chance than we would get in any series with anything whatsoever. So I would take it 100%. But yeah, no. Obviously, when everybody can ban out every map that they don't want, both teams get the opportunity to ban out gyroscope 3 times. There's, oh sorry, 4 times. I would correct myself. So yeah, obviously, slowdown is going to be the one that everybody wants. In this series, SCHWEINEAIM Racing, massive advantage on that. So if they manage to force out, I would say ban slowdown BS+. If it gets to that, if it gets to it.
Yeah, I would not disagree with you, but that is a long way off in the future, and we'll see if we do even get there. Ratchet with an early mistake. This is BS+COMPETITION's second pick of the match as well. They have favored picking this map. 5 out of their 7 matches they picked this one up in. With that said, not favoring Blast in the bobsleigh turn, still sliding off the edge. Barboss leads up the hill into our identity for the first time on parkour. Snow heading a little bit more inside in the car. Bobbles, but is under control. He may have the pace to overtake Barboss in these jumps as well. Is going to be very low going into that one. Still holds on, but clips the pole ultimately. And that means Barboss may overtake through all the way to the front. Ratchet trying to catch up, but will not quite make it through. It's going to be a 1-3. SCHWEINEAIM, they do pick up a first round win.
Actually, the only player in the Challenger League we've seen go for a flip at the end there, and it won him the round. He overtook for the round win. I wonder if we're going to... I think, you know what? Every time we've looked at, obviously we got the clip out of it and we were like, oh my God, that's amazing. I feel like it may have just been because he had to. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think he wanted to go for the flip, but it was amazing. Fair play. I don't think he's going to go for it again. I think it was a matter of circumstance in that one. A crime of passion, as it were. It's not really a crime.
Yeah, he saw the opportunity, he went for it, and got the clip out of it. And hey, we'd love to see it again, but maybe a little bit unlikely on this one. Still, it was definitely, it's nice to know that it's in the back pocket if entirely necessary, but given that they then chose not to go for it in the final round as well, there goes Glassed, I believe it was. No, it's not Glassed, it's Snow is gone all the way down. Look, they're in similar cars. It's hard to tell.
They are, yes, it is. It's very, I understand. The color blindness, it hurts sometimes. Anyway, Ratchet and Barboss in first and second place. Barboss, he bobbles a little bit. He gets through. It's clean from both players. They'll get through to the very end. It'll be 5 points here for SCHWEINEAIM Racing. Glass comes up in third. Snow. I mean, there's a reason this is this is actually the least finished map, is it not? I think, or maybe not in. I think in TMCL it's the least finished map.
You could be right. It is, I think, tied in terms of percentage DNFs with Flip of Faith, which should tell you something. Turns out,
obviously we play parkour more.
Exactly, yeah. And these players, they love having their wheels on the ground, I think is what that boils down to.
I think
give them some jumps and they start to get nervous.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, Flip of Faith, Flip is also a parkour thing, so, they're the same map, basically. And I think that shows, obviously, in this one. Technically, Gyroscope is the most finished map, actually. Well, it's 100% of 0.
That's not... I don't think that's how maths works, but look, I'm not a mathematician.
It is simultaneously 0 and 100%.
I don't think that can be true. I think it's just null.
I mean,
Twiggy.
do you want to get it? Okay, well, we can talk about the depths of like mathematics later on. That's not either of our. I don't think either of us are even remotely qualified to talk about that whatsoever. I don't know. There's some maths in sound design. I know a little bit about that, but it's a 1-2 position now for BS Plus competition. Can the Zebras take it home? 1-2 as Barboss overtakes, and there is a respawn from Glass. He's gonna have to fall even further back. Ratchet, he might not make this last jump either. No, he's not gonna make it, and he's gonna have to fall back once again. Glass overtakes. He goes into 3rd place. It's 1 from Snow, 2 from Barboss. Glass, he gets through in 3rd place just about. Ratchet had to respawn as well. He tried to go for that final jump. He didn't have enough speed. He realized too late.
Yeah, and a strong time up front from Snow as well. 102.422 is quick. It's very, very quick indeed. It may even be a PB for Snow on that one. It is PB by about 2/10 for Snow on the map here. Wow. Which is exactly, again, we've kind of said it, right? SCHWEINEAIM, I think, had a slightly better regular season than BS Plus competition taken as a whole. But BS Plus competition, they are absolutely peaking coming into playoffs. They are starting to set very good times. They're looking more consistent here than they did in the regular season as well. Yeah. With that said, Twiggy, they still trail by 3 points on a must-win map.
Yes, I think these are two teams with very much an emphasis on consistency. You know, it's not the same thing where you've got Scandic or Dexter, where you just put together records every 5 rounds. You know, these are players that very much value their consistency on every single map. We're seeing that come through. The more consistent team generally is winning out these rounds. It's not the player who comes in 1st place a lot of the time. Ratchet, though, he is in 1st place this time around. Can he close it out for his team? But, oh, Barboss, oh, he might hit a sign as well. Oh my god, he makes it over just about. Glass, he looks like he's going to be coming in 3rd this time around. Oh, it was close, it really was, but it's a draw, and now SCHWEINEAIM Racing are on the track point and the match point.
Great race in 3rd and 4th position there. Glass holds on by 0.5 in order to close that one out, to keep the draw. But as you said, SCHWEINEAIM Racing happy enough with a draw. A draw is SCHWEINEAIM Racing favored at the moment, as they sit much, much closer to the required points. BS Plus competition getting to that point where you really, really do need an ace to close things out, and you cannot afford another loss from here on out.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's the score is basically reset when we move to a 2nd set. Obviously, we know these rules. We get the idea. It's very obvious how it works, but at the same time, you know, going from being 2 maps down on a series to being at 0-0 again on a set is incredibly difficult to get through. And we saw the way that worked last time around when it was a 5-mapper for the 1st set and then a 3-mapper for the 2nd set, because as soon as you lose that one, you're just like, okay. Suddenly it's a lot more difficult. Ratchet again in 1st place. Can he get it done this time around? Come up in 1st place. Can Barboss overtake? I don't think so. He's in 3rd by quite a long way, and Glass keeps it clean. He may just overtake here with Ratchet. Ratchet hits the ground earlier. It's going to come down to a couple thousand. It's 36 by the time they get to the end, but Ratchet with less airtime does make it through. Snow, he's down by 11 seconds, but who cares? SCHWEINEAIM Racing move up to 9 points. Oh, Snow. Oh,
pretty wicked. It's pretty wicked. He will get to the line in time as well. He gets a finish in. That's what you absolutely
get the wicked points for that one. You get the wicked points.
Unfortunately, they don't get points on the board. They get 1 point on the board, not points plural on the board. SCHWEINEAIM Racing, they got points with an S plural on the board, and now sit 1 point away from winning this 1st match of the set as well, from potentially going up. And I think at that point you start to favor them in the 2nd round. I think we're at a point as well, Twiggy, where we start to talk about it. Do you look at different bands in the 2nd set? I think Slowdown, you're absolutely right, is maybe worth a consideration for BS Plus competition.
I think definitely if you lose the set, you should be thinking about batting out maps that SCHWEINEAIM Racing were, or whoever is genuinely just better on. And right now, SCHWEINEAIM Racing, I think, oh my lord, are the best team on that map. Ratchet hits a pole. He goes all the way down. Oh, but Snow as well. So there we go. Things have equalized quite nicely. Everybody is back with each other. We're fighting for positions now. Ratchet is still quite far behind Snow, but Barboss may just be able to contest for 1st place here. They only need 1 point, so a 1st place does it for them. Barboss, oh my lord, he takes a very wide line once again. He just about gets through. There's no wheel clip, but he's slower. He's slower than Glass. Glass overtakes. They can still get 1 point out of this one. They do indeed. It's over right then and there. No problem, but that was an interesting final round. But that's all they needed. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's as close as you could possibly have gotten for Barboss. to crashing without actually crashing at the end there.
Amazing.
He finished half a second in front of his opponent there in third place, but he very nearly did not make that finish line at all. He did make the finish line though. SCHWEINEAIM Racing, they win match 1. 3-1 is the map score. And yeah, I'd love to see a little bit of a change up here in the pick and ban phase for match 2. I think, look, SCHWEINEAIM Racing have a 100% win rate on slowdown still. They are pretty much unbeatable. I think maybe not unbeatable. It was still, they're beatable, right? But it's going to take a very, very big effort. I think it's just easier for BS Plus competition to take that off the table for match 2.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a very similar, you know, kind of question coming through when we look at alternate attacks versus Sprout is, do you ban out reps? Maybe on the first set you don't. On the second set, I think it has to be a consideration. If a team is dominant on a map, you need to be thinking about just banning it out. I don't care if you think you're good at the map. If the other team is really good on the map, then there's no reason to be doing this one, especially since it just did not work last time around.
Yeah, absolutely. Twiggy, you are looking absolutely fantastic in about 4
That's
full
not my
pixels
fault.
there.
That's not my fault.
Well,
different.
Look, we'll
no,
see
that's not. That's not my camera. I'm using a mirrorless. It cost me like £500.
Yeah, for sure, Twiggy. That sounds
on my screen. I'm in crisp 4K.
We're going to go to a quick break so that Twiggy can switch to the correct camera and stop using his webcam. We will see you back here after the break to get underway with match 2 of the set between SCHWEINEAIM and BS Plus competition. Do not go anywhere. Winner of this match goes to the All-Star Championships. It may be SCHWEINEAIM Racing in 3 more tracks. Welcome back to the Trackmania Challenger League, where SCHWEINEAIM Racing have put themselves in prime position to book a spot at the All-Star Championship happening after the Challenger League and Grand League playoffs do wrap up. Twiggy, that is an event that I am very much looking forward to. I think the Challenger League are sending some teams that they're going to surprise the Grand League teams a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. You know, when we started out weeks 2, 3, 4, I think, you know, we were thinking there are some major differences. Yeah, there's major differences between Challengers and Grand League. In the Challengers League, not only are they less consistent, they don't put together the same times, not even remotely. But now, you know, we've had players like Dexter come through, Ratchet come through, putting together, you know, stealing all of Pack's records. Gimme, yum, 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 yum. They're all gone now. It seems like Dexter has, what, 2 world records? No, wait, doesn't he? Does he have 3? Oh, no, that's just, no, sorry, he has
I'm just 5... distracted by the noise you made, and honestly...
He has 5 TMCL records. I think he has 2... He might not. I don't remember. The graphic that we had before, obviously, we don't have this time around. But yeah, we are seeing the same amounts of kind of records between TMGL and TMCL. There are certain maps where it's a big difference. Obviously, Gyroscope, one of them, seeing as nobody has put together a time in the Challengers League. But still, I think, yeah, that definitely the top teams that we're going to send are going to give the Grand League teams, at the very least, something to think about.
Well, here we are back into pick and bans. We're going to see if anything does change up. No, same bans come through again, and we're straight back onto slowdown and back and forth. BS Plus competition, they don't think there was anything wrong with their strategy. They are just running it back. They think it was just an issue of winning the maps that they picked last time around. They think they can do it a second time around. Twiggy, I'm a little bit surprised, and it's even aero pipes for random again. That's honestly, I'm surprised that there is no change there. Yeah,
I'm not sure I like that idea from BS Plus. I get it. Look,
like Rex is scary, but it's not that scary, and I don't think you need to be that scared of SCHWEINEAIM on it, honestly.
Yeah, I think when you're going into this next one, I think there's definitely, obviously, they're thinking, you know, it was map 1 of the first set. We weren't warmed up, right? We can still take the fight to them. You know, Barbos was making mistakes on the identity. We can do that. But the fact of the matter is, they didn't overtake Ratchet once, really. And when Ratchet wasn't in first place, Barbos was in first place. They just didn't lose points. They didn't... Well, I mean, obviously, they gave away points, but they didn't have a round that they lost on that map. I get it. It's everybody's favorite map. But at the same time, I feel like there could have been a more strategic option there.
Yeah, like, it's, again, the option they gave to give up slowdown, to let SCHWEINEAIM Racing on slowdown, was to ban reps away. And SCHWEINEAIM Racing, they've played it twice in the regular season. One of those times they picked it, and they lost both times they played it. They are not necessarily a team you need to be too afraid of. But look, that's academic now. The picks have been locked in. We are going to go to slowdown. BS Plus competition, we're going to have to see if they can pull it out of the bag. It's going to still be very, very difficult indeed. Ratchet and Barbos lining up once again. It is giving them a chance to start off on comfort again and to get out to a lead in a very important second match in the set.
Yeah, I think if Ratchet plays the same way that he did last time we went on to slowdown, all is good for this team. They're not going to worry too much about it whatsoever. They're probably, you know, Ratchet is probably thinking free map. Cool. Let's go. Obviously, BS Plus competition are going to be thinking, no, not free whatsoever. We're going to take this one. But it's going to take mistakes from SCHWEINEAIM Racing. It's not usual that I say, you know, mistakes are the big thing that's going to be the difference here. On the slowdown, it's usually whoever's quickest, because nobody really makes that many mistakes, apart from if they're being harangued towards the identity. This time, Ratchet is pretty much guaranteed to get the best time if he gets through unscathed.
Yeah, well, he has started off a little bit slower this time around, but I do, in general,
sandbagging.
Absolutely agree. He's sandbagging. It's round 1. There's no way that BS Plus competition can know his true pace on this map, having already played him once in this set. But no, I'm sure he'll clean it up, and at the moment it is very much a two-horse races going on. Barbos versus Glass, they're neck and neck at the back. Snow versus Ratchet. It is close, but a mistake from Barbos does mean a chance now for BS Plus competition to start off on the front foot here on slowdown the first time around. Ratchet, through the identity, is still very much a threat to them.
Yeah, Ratchet has caught back up to both of these players. Glass and Snow need to keep it clean, but Ratchet has a better line. He goes through the trees. He moves into first place. He may just take it once again. He had a slower start than everybody else on the server, and he takes first place with a 56.63. Look, this is Ratchet on slowdown. He just does not take prisoners. He went from last to first place.
Yeah, and with the fact that his start was about 2/10 slower, he was kind of on live round record pace there, potentially. You know, like, that's how quickly he is driving on the rest of the map. And you need to be aware of it. BS Plus Competition, their decision was to let SCHWEINEAIM take them back to slowdown. I think they're going to pay the price for it, Twiggy. I can't help but say it. A round like that just goes to show how quick Ratchet is. He's had a little bit of a slower start again, but he's only a 10th back from the rest of the pack. And Barboss, if he can keep it clean, he's made a mistake 2 rounds in a row. But if he can keep it clean, this is the same thing that we saw last time around. Ratchet is just getting the times up front, and as soon as Barboss starts to clean it up, the map fell away from BS Plus Competition. Yeah,
and another stat that I think we need to bring up on this one is that whenever a team picks this map in the Challengers League, they win it. Every single time. Every single time. The person who has not picked Slowdown has never won it against the opposition, because there are teams that are so confident on this map. This is going to be so close. Snow just... Oh my god! That is insane!
Tied!
It's a tie for first place. Ratchet, oh my, almost caught up, but Snow just about stays ahead. I mean, well, I mean, not even. Not even, but still. Wild. I mean... Hey, that was around. That was around.
Yeah, don't forget, everyone, to type name diff into chat and prove that you do not know what order the alphabet comes in, because Snow does win that one over Ratchet, because S, as we all know, comes over R in the alphabet. It does, for anyone who's wondering, go back to the previous checkpoint and who was first through that one. So Snow being first through the previous checkpoint beats out Ratchet on the previous round and gives BS Plus Competition a win on that round. Ratchet with a rare mistake on slowdown as well. Look, I've been calling BS Plus Competition out. I thought this was a mistake. They're looking like they may move 2 points up, maybe even 3 points if Barboss makes a mistake at the back.
Yeah, SCHWEINEAIM Racing having a difficult time getting back into this map. And yeah, BS Plus Competition, hey, they rolled the dice on this one. They went, you know what, we're going to go back to the same map. We're not going to change our strategy whatsoever. And it's working out so far. Barboss this time is the one who goes through the trees. He generally does not take that line, but it's paying off. He takes first place and he saves the round for his teammate. What a clutch from Barboss. He never takes that line through. Well, I'm not going to say never. He barely ever takes that line through the trees.
Yeah, he does choose to go for it and got very close to a wall a couple of times on the last turns as well. Still made it through and is now holding on to that one. SCHWEINEAIM Racing, they manage to stay a point behind, and that's a huge clutch up from Barboss, because Ratchet, as we said, made a mistake. He's made another one on the very first turn of the map. I mean, look, we talked about a slow start in one of the previous rounds. That's kind of taking it to the extremes.
Ooh. I think my hello, I'm back. I think my internet dropped out for a second there because everybody fell into the floor and you stopped talking. That was an interesting one. I thought I'd entered like a horror movie. Anyway, Barboss out in first place, and by quite a long way. Everybody pretty much has made a mistake so far on this one. Snow and Glass not so much as Ratchet. Ratchet has a lot of work to do to catch up, and I think he clips his wheel on a sign there as well, so he falls back even further. 3 seconds now is the difference, and on slowdown, that is a killer blow. There is no way you're making up that amount of time unless everybody flies into the crowd here. Barboss plays it safe. He knows he's 1 second ahead of his opposition, and he's going to bring home that draw. No problem whatsoever. Ratchet is going to take home 4th place. It's a pretty decent time from Barboss. It's nothing record breaking, but again, we're putting together times where, you know, to come first place, you kind of need a 56.7 or 8.
This is, I think, probably the best BS Plus Competition could have hoped for at this point on slowdown, though. They're 1 point up, halfway to the 10 they need. They're 1 or 2 slightly lucky rounds potentially away from winning it, and really anything can happen in individual rounds. It's on average over the course of a track that, you know, we really do see one team prove their worth over another. But when you manage to hold on up until this point, you have the chance. BS Plus Competition, they could snipe slowdown away from SCHWEINEAIM Racing. What a huge turnaround that would be on the match as a whole.
Yeah, this is where you go for the killing blow. You really need to push together some really good times towards the end to make sure that you're putting it to bed. You do not want to give SCHWEINEAIM Racing, especially SCHWEINEAIM Racing with Ratchet on their team, an opening back into this one. You are ahead. Oh no, that's not great. Glass goes up into the air for just a second. He falls back, and there is the opening that they wanted. Oh, but Barboss goes down into the crowd. Ratchet is going to come home in first place, no problem, but it's another draw for the team. And again, BS Plus Competition stay out in front.
That is, I think, only the second time tonight that Barboss has failed that last jump.
He's not happy about it.
He's not. He's just driving in circles. He's doing a little bit of exploring, sniffing around, bit of sniffer on that checkpoint to see what exactly is going on.
He's seeing if there's an oil slick on the end there. He's like, somebody sabotaged me. I swear to God, it wasn't my fault.
Yeah, the Mario Kart bananas are out on that last hill for Barboss, but he does.
When are they adding that to track?
We do not need that, Twiggy. I'm telling you.
No, that would be terrifying.
I'm already bad enough if I
also player contact needs to be turned on. Imagine. That would be the worst viewing experience of all time.
BS+ competition, they've been gifted a couple of these draws at this point. They're still holding on. They're 1 point away from track point. And I'll say it again, I do still think they need a little bit of luck to win from this point. They do still need Barboss and Ratchet, probably at least one, maybe both, making mistakes on the round to win this map. But they could win this map, Twiggy, and that is not something I expected to say as we came back to slow down.
Yeah, SCHWEINEAIM so far look a little bit flustered, a little bit unprepared coming into the map. It's not usual for them. They both take the line through the trees. Can that result in an ace for them? It's a very good speed from Snow as well, but can he stay out ahead? It doesn't look like it. It's going to be an ace. Snow doesn't even make the finish. It looked like he was going to get overtaken anyway, but Barboss and Ratchet, there we go. They've flipped the script. It's now 8-6. It's back in their hands. They're on track point, and BS+ competition are not.
That's the problem for BS+ competition, is when it came down to it in that round, Ratchet and Barboss both set 56.6, 56.7, and that's the risk that you were running as BS+ competition. You were holding on by the skin of your teeth all the way up until this point in the match. But one good round, and a round that really should be happening more often for SCHWEINEAIM Racing. We know that they consistently both set those times. They do set those times. It's an ace, and all of a sudden they're on track point. BS+ competition still on 6 points.
Yeah, they just took a while to warm up into the map. That is the SCHWEINEAIM Racing we expect to see here on slowdown, and Snow's feeling the pressure. He's hit a sign. He's back in 4th place by a very long way, and he's going to have less speed going into that uphill, which means he's going to be even further down by the time we get towards the final checkpoint here. 2 seconds is a massive amount of time. Can Glass force a draw to stop a win from happening here from SCHWEINEAIM Racing? So far, he is out ahead, but oh no! Barboss, he doesn't make the turn. It is going to be a draw. BS+ competition, they hold on for one more round. It's perfect. It's exactly what they needed. And Barboss, he's feeling the oil slick again there on that final turn.
Okay, here we go. A 9-7 scoreline. And BS+ competition with an ace, with one good round. And maybe, again, a little bit of luck necessary for it to happen. They probably need at least one of Barboss and Ratchet to not put up the kind of pace that they cannot match. But they could win. They could snipe this map out from underneath SCHWEINEAIM Racing. And what a huge takeaway that would be. How exciting would that turn the rest of this match into?
I mean, this is where personal best time is really going to come into it at this point. SCHWEINEAIM Racing, they do have better PBs than BS+ competition on this map. All they need to do is put one together of those, and they're going to be untouchable. First place guarantees them this round, this map, and gets them a really, really good start. A start that they needed here in the second set. They're not going to be letting BS+ competition start to run away with it like we saw last series, last game with Omino Sun, just walking away with the second set. But Ratchet, he comes out ahead. He's got more speed, and it looks like once again the PB is all powerful. He gets a 56.499, a sub 56.5 to close things out. That's exactly what they needed. It's only 1/10 away from his own world record, and it's exactly what they wanted to get that one done. Perfectly done.
I mean, that's just so quick from Ratchet. There are not many players in Challenger League or Grand League who can match that kind of time. And it was a valiant effort. I think Snow was there 2/10 behind him, putting up a very good time, a low 56.7 as well. Unfortunate. No, Snow was at the back. Glass was somewhere. Look, either way, you ain't catching that.
Either way, you're against Ratchet on that map. He has the world record, and he's consistently, as over the past like 2 weeks of the regular season, he'd been very consistently putting together 56.6s at the worst, really. So, you know, it's scary when you're coming up against a player who consistently sets kind of world record times. I just dropped my pen, sorry, that's why I flinched. It gets very difficult to keep your cool and manage to pull together a time that you've never pulled together before as BS+ competition.
Well, and I'm a little bit nervous for BS+ competition now heading onto back and forth as well, because part of what kept them in this match last time around was Ratchet making a lot of errors on that identity, on even this first turn at times. And if Ratchet is now starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, if he's fully warmed up into the match, had those hand warmers ready to go, whatever it is, then things start to look very, very scary immediately. If you do not pick up this match as BS+ competition, we're back onto SCHWEINEAIM's pick. We're back onto Parkour was the third pick. No, it's the other one.
Yeah, Agility Dash third, and then Parkour
Agility
fourth.
Dash third, exactly. In the BS Plus competition, they could just lose this second set, could lose the overall set on Agility Dash then.
Yeah, that is, I mean, the tough pill to swallow with a best of 5 is that suddenly you're down to a 3-map minimum, and losing your own map pick is a death blow completely. It's basically just giving away the whole series to the other team. It looks like Ratchet has a better line coming into the final turn. He will pull out ahead, and he will just be able to get the ace. What? 1/10 between everybody there? Where did that come from?
That's such a close round, but it still is exactly what we were talking about. That is not dissimilar to the early rounds we had on back and forth last time around. The key difference is instead of Ratchet crashing out, he makes it through to the finish, and it is Snow making the early mistake this time around. Glast is behind both players from SCHWEINEAIM Racing, and this match 2 in the set is starting to feel very different. It's starting to feel like SCHWEINEAIM Racing are the team on top.
Yeah, you said it best before we even started, that Ratchet really, he made a lot of mistakes on the identity. He was not feeling warm here on this map. Obviously, it wasn't their map pick. That makes sense that you're not warm on your own map. But as we come to it once again, this is the danger of picking the exact same maps that you did last time, is that suddenly everybody is going to be a little more prepared. We saw it with Slowdown. Sorry, BS Plus Competition were feeling a little better on that map. But this time around, Ratchet is really feeling it. He's well out ahead by 3/10 already. Glass, he's fallen back. It's going to be another ace for SCHWEINEAIM Racing, and what a great time as well. Oh my, like everything is coming together now.
Yeah, it's coming together for one of these teams. It's falling apart a little bit for the other one. BS Plus Competition on their own map pick. They looked good, it has to be said. For as much as there were mistakes from SCHWEINEAIM Racing, they looked better than this last time around on back and forth, and the wheels are falling off the bus a little bit here.
They don't go round and round if they're not on the bus whatsoever. They not at all. No, somebody is actually just dragging them along.
I know we make a lot of song references here, but I didn't think that we were going to be reduced by the playoffs.
Is a nursery rhyme really a song? Is a nursery rhyme really a song?
Have we run out of actual song references and we're just into nursery rhymes?
No, it's because it was low-hanging fruit. What do you want from me? Like,
not to pick the low-hanging fruit. That's why it's called low-hanging fruit.
You're taller than me. We established this. You're the one who picks the high-hanging fruit. I'm the one who picks the low-hanging fruit, you giraffe. Like... Built like a baked bean. Anyway, Ratchet once again out ahead. He's really feeling back and forth this time around. We head into the identity one more time here, and it may just look like a 12-0. If Snow can't stay out ahead on this one, it's going to be really difficult. There goes Ratchet. Okay, there we go. That is the opening that BS Plus wanted in this map, but it's still going to be a draw. No more than that, as Glass made a mistake earlier on. He falls further back, and Barbas and Ratchet have time to respawn.
That's a great time up front from Snow. He's within a tenth of his BB on the track up there, but it's feeling a little bit like too little too late. SCHWEINEAIM Racing, they're on track point. BS Plus Competition, they're on point.
Yes, SCHWEINEAIM Racing have really, I don't know what it was about last time we went on back and forth. They were not feeling it. This time around, they definitely are feeling it. Ratchet and Barbas, I don't know. Something's come together for them. That round was not clean. Oh, Glass. Oh my. No. He just does not slide whatsoever. And suddenly he's out of the competition on this one. Barbas has moved himself up into third position. He was down by a second. He's still down by a second from first place, but he is definitely in third position. Glass is still on that turn, by the way. We will completely ignore what's going on there. He has not made it through whatsoever. He's going to have to do a full respawn. Ratchet in first place, and it's looking like at the very least we're seeing a 9-2 scoreline here. Ratchet, he just has to stay here in first position. Snow, the weight of the world on your shoulders now. Can you stay in second place? Can you maybe get a first place and force out a draw? He's got a better line. He's got a much better line on that final turn. It's beautiful. He forces the draw. That's exactly what they needed. Stops them from getting to 9 points. It's only 8 for SCHWEINEAIM Racing. They still need a round win.
Only 8.
I mean, yeah. I mean, BS Plus Competition still need like 2 aces. But look, let me build up the storyline, man.
It's true. Look, it's great from Snow. It's still a little bit sloppy from Ratchet on that final turn, but you can afford a little bit sloppy there, right? Just not crashing out, making sure you got across that line, securing the draws is honestly all the SCHWEINEAIM Racing needs at the moment. And while it's a great end from Snow, it's probably not enough just yet. And I'm going to hold off getting excited until they manage to ace this round. Because if they ace this round, I'll get really excited. BS Plus Competition, they'll be closing the gap entirely. But as things stand, it's just so likely to TRYNAIM take us to an overall set point here.
Does look that way. It's a 1-2 position this time around for BS Plus Competition, but that's a very awkward turn from Glass. He slams into the wall at full speed, and now he is well back in 4th position. I mean, obviously, you can make up a second in this identity if somebody crashes into one of those poles, if somebody falls into the water, if somebody has a wheel clip, in fact. But so far, I mean, it looks very clean now through this one. Can Snow get another good time? Can he keep it clean through to the very end and force one more draw on this one? Give them another chance. Barbers and Ratchet, they both make it through, but they're in 2nd and 3rd place. It's a safe finish for Ratchet, but it's another draw. BS Plus Competition, they're putting together good times, or at least Snow is. Glass needs to step up to the plate right here, right now, because they need aces.
Yeah, big mistakes early in the map. Pre-identity for Glass in the last couple of rounds. Still hasn't crossed the line on this one. We'll get another DNF. And BS Plus Competition, they're very much under the gun. Nothing except an ace will do for them now. And that means Glass keeping the car out of the wall for this round. It also means Ratchet and Barboss, they need to be beaten on pace in this round. As long as one of them makes top 2, that is it. We move to Agility Dash. We potentially move to BS Plus Competition's last map of the season.
Yeah, all they need to do is manage to get themselves not aced twice in a row, which, hey, I would say relatively trivial task, but we've seen a lot of it happen, honestly. Like, way more than I would expect throughout the Challenger League so far, and it really just comes down to the consistency that these players exhibit so far. Well, everybody is surviving, apart from Snow this time around. Yeah. The player who has been consistently in 1st place for BS Plus Competition, keeping the dreams alive. This time around, the dream, it's in the bin. Glass, Glass needs to stay in 1st place, and Snow needs to catch up with both Ratchet and Barboss. That's going to take a mistake here on the identity, and so far they've been relatively clean on this one. It doesn't look like both of them have made a mistake whatsoever. At any point in this one, it's over, just like that. Safe finish from both of them. They get that draw completely done, and this time around, as you said, the set is looking completely different.
SCHWEINEAIM Racing 10-4 on back and forth. BS Plus Competition, they won this map last time around. It kept them alive in the match, but they can't repeat history this time around, and I'm nervous for them because on Agility Dash, Barboss looked great. Ratchet again has looked better in match 2 than he did in match 1, and he didn't look bad in match 1 either. BS Plus Competition, they have a mountain to climb. They need to reverse sweep this match and then win a decider. That's 4 maps in a row that they need to win, and most likely, given how things have gone in other deciders and what we said at the top of the map, that decider would probably end up being Slowdown unless BS Plus Competition banned it away.
Yeah, and look, Slowdown, yes, it wasn't as clean from SCHWEINEAIM Racing last time around, but it didn't really feel like BS Plus Competition really had it in their own hands. You know, every time they were ahead for a long time, but they really didn't, you know, they couldn't manage to close it out because just their best times were not as good as SCHWEINEAIM Racing in that one.
And it was definitely one of those things where you're like, oh, BS Plus Competition, they could maybe beat SCHWEINEAIM, call it 1 times out of 10, maybe 2 times, 1 in 5 on Slowdown. And it felt like maybe that was one of those times and they just couldn't quite get it across the line. And that's just credit to SCHWEINEAIM Racing. They're very, very good at Slowdown. And when they both put it together at the same time, they are one of the teams that will pick up an ace on pure pace pretty much every time. But that's in the past. It has led to the present. And in the present, we are on to Agility Dash, and Ratchet and Barboss are looking to put together the runs that will close out this set. Will put them through into the top 4 potentially of the Challenger League this season, send them to the All-Star Championship as well.
Yeah, and we saw very good identities from both teams here. There were barely any mistakes, but SCHWEINEAIM Racing were better on the regular part of the map before that identity and were out ahead. And when you're out ahead and nobody makes mistakes on the identity, suddenly you see yourself in ace positions, and that is what we're seeing right now. Snow already down by about a 10th, Glass a half a second down at this point, and that can make the difference because these teams both look consistent on the identity. We'll have to wait and see what happens. You never really know with Agility Dash, but at the same time, they look comfortable now. Oh, Ratchet, wheel clip, bad landing. He falls back into 4th place.
Yeah, and Barboss and Snow, they're going to be close together. Barboss choosing the jump line into the identity, has pulled out a gap. Snow and Glass chasing down. Ratchet is closing, has the speed, is getting very close to them. Indeed, it looks like it'll be processional up to the end. No mistakes at the finish line. BS Plus Competition hold hands into the finish line. Less than half a tenth between both of them. But Barboss is up front, picking up where he left off on this map with a 128.9.
You got to give it to him. You don't see too many teams that are this consistent on the Agility Dash identity. It is kind of impressive how well they've done that. It just means that you now need to really clean up the rest of the map, because Agility Dash is one of the maps where it is one of the maps of all time. It's one of the maps where every turn counts, because the amount of speed you're taking through every single turn, you break for maybe, you know, 5/10, or sorry, not 5/10, sorry, 500th longer than anybody else. You fall back 2-3 in the map, so you need to make sure that you are squeezing every single thousandth that you can before you even get into the identity here.
Exactly. When people have that consistency, every part of the map matters. And Ratchet, he's made a mistake in that turn a few times so far tonight. This time he's being let off the hook a little bit by the fact that snow is a long way down. It's a lot of pressure on Glass to get a good finish in front of Barboss. Potentially, it's going to be hard to do so.
Yeah, quite critically as well. Snow did not go for a reset. He took a very small amount of speed through a large part of the map there. Didn't go for the reset. He probably would be less than 5 seconds behind if he did go for it. But obviously in the moment, that choice is difficult to make. And once you haven't made it for a second, suddenly you're like, oh, well, if I did it now, it would be pointless. So it's going to come down to Glass to stay out in first place. He takes a very fast line into the identity, but Barboss, he turns less. He's right next to him, right behind him, but Barboss wheel clip. There we go. And Glass should just be able to get through on that one. Maybe a little close for comfort, but they get through. And once again, what a time.
What a time.
Very nice.
28.758 from Glass. Even if Barboss hadn't had the wheel clip there, that would have been one of the fastest rounds is the word I think you'll find. Look, I don't know where that came from.
Nor do I. Look, your mind is a mystery to me, my friend. Yeah, it's my mind is a mystery to myself, so I don't know why that's surprising to me whatsoever. But you know, there you go. And yeah, once again, it's just going to come down to consistency pre-identity.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that is pretty much the best time by about 4/10 that either member of BS+ competition has ever set in a live round on this track. So that should maybe tell you how difficult it's going to be for them to beat Barboss on this track so far. But they did, and that's the point, right? It has been pulled out once. The track is still tied at 2-2. This is not over. BS+ competition still in this one, but much as it felt on slowdown, that's a big mistake from Barboss. Much as it felt on slowdown, it's mistakes like that that will allow BS+ competition to come into the map, to continue on in contention, and they're going to need to take opportunities like that when they're offered them.
Yeah, and Barboss has done the exact same thing that Glass did last time around. He did not reset, and he clipped another checkpoint, and now he has less speed, obviously. That's equalized as you move into the full speed section, but he's going to be down by 5 seconds before we get into the identity here. Snow and Glass, this is their opportunity to pull out ahead and start to bring back this set. They need to do it right here, right now, on SCHWEINEAIM's map pick. Otherwise, it's all over for them. And so far, things are not looking too bad. We've got Snow well out in first place. Glass trying to keep second place here. Ratchet is going to have to do very well here on the identity to catch up. So far, he's been the least consistent player out of all of 4 players here on the server. But he's doing well so far, and generally he takes more speed. But there's the wheel clip. That's what we were waiting for. Glass pulls back out ahead, and Ratchet doesn't even make the finish line. Not that it matters.
Snow has stepped up massively in these last 2 rounds. 128.8 again, very, very quick through that identity and through the rest of the track before it as well. And Glass will manage to overtake Ratchet, who does come 10 seconds behind everyone else in the end. But, you know, was contesting an 8 for BS+ competition. It'd be a big pickup for them to head into parkour in the lead, well, at least to take us to parkour as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they wanted to do it last map. It was their map pick. They really wanted to get that done right then and there. SCHWEINEAIM Racing, they were warm. They felt good on that one, and they took it away. Now, your back is up against the wall. You need to be bringing this one. It's not a matter of, oh, we need to bring it because it's our map pick. It's a matter of, we need to bring it, otherwise we're out. Done. Gone. Everything's gone. And that's what we're seeing right now. You know, what is it about a dog? The bark, bite, something, I don't know, something.
Yeah, it's not about the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
That's not what I was going for, but sure, that one works as well. I don't know if size really I don't know if size really matters, Noah, but
yeah, you started that sentence before you thought about the fact you were saying it on broadcast, Twiggy. We've all been there. And you know where else Snow's been? In the lead multiple rounds in a row, but he's not there anymore because Barboss and Ratchet have caught back up.
Yeah, it does seem that way. And Barbos and Ratchet now out ahead. A little bit of airtime for Barbos brings him down into 3rd position, but that's still fine. No problem whatsoever. It's all going to be very close through this one. It's going to be about consistency once again. Everybody, it pretty much seems, has been getting through the identity unscathed, but now is the time that things go wrong. Barbos, he falls straight down. Sorry, Ratchet falls straight down. Barbos is in 3rd place. He doesn't quite catch up to Glass either, and BS+ Competition move forward with another ace.
I love that you see the car in 1st place from SCHWEINEAIM Racing, and it's very much that Simpsons meme, you know, where it's like, Barbos, no! And then Bart is just standing at Marge's elbow, and it's like, sorry, force of habit. I'm just so used to seeing Barbos up front on this track. And it was Ratchet this time around who makes the mistake in 1st place, gives an ace to BS+ Competition, and they sit at 8 points to 2 over SCHWEINEAIM Racing. Absolutely massive pair of aces for them. Glass will not be continuing to run this time around, has fallen a long way back, but they still, all they need is another win. Even a draw is starting to feel good enough for them.
Yeah, that is very... This is so much comfort for you. You know, getting a cushion, not just in terms of a series or a set, getting a cushion in terms of points is just so much pressure off your back. Suddenly, you don't have to fight for every 1,000th in each round there. Oh, Barbos nearly clips a wall, but he gets a lot of speed out of it in return. And right now, again, being backed into a wall is not BS+ Competition this time. It is Barbos and Ratchet. They don't want to let BS+ Competition back into the series on their own map pick. They need to stop them, you know, block them from getting this one done right here, right now. You don't have to worry about next map if you just get this done here and now. BS+ Competition have no way back into the series, no way back into the match whatsoever. And it seems like that is what is possessing their minds at the moment, although Ratchet takes a bit of airtime and that could be very costly.
It really could. Even allowing single points back into the hands of BS+ Competition now that they sit on 8 is a scary proposition, and Snow is in the driver's seat now. He just needs to hold on for a 2nd place, just not risk it too much on his identity. Him and Ratchet both very close to that checkpoint on the way through, but it looks like we'll cruise to that finish line. Everyone in order. Barbos holds on for 1st. Ratchet will take a 3rd, but Snow picks up that all-important 2nd place and the 1 point that goes with it.
Yeah, Glass hugging light fixtures there. All good. Yeah, it's nice and warm, you know. But yeah, this is now, obviously, it didn't really matter. As long as BS+ Competition got a point out of that round, now SCHWEINEAIM Racing need 2 aces. That's just the way things are going to work. Now, heading forward, if they get the... Suddenly... Yep. Did I just drop out for a second there?
Just for half a second there, absolutely.
if they get a 1st ace here, they still need a 2nd one because a 7-9 scoreline, you still need that ace. You can't tie it back up, so it's really important. Now that they get this one done, obviously we've seen, well, not this set at least, but we have seen teams do it from time to time. They manage to just get stuff done when they need it most. Can SCHWEINEAIM do it when they need it the most?
I mean, hey, I do love a 7-9 scoreline as well. Wouldn't mind seeing a 2nd one in the set. It's on SCHWEINEAIM's shoulders to try and get it. It's on Ratchet to catch back up at the moment. This turn has caused him problems in the past. Will make it through cleanly and even close a bit of the gap. But ask the player to slip a little bit back. Snow will be first onto that booster. Gets the inside line that he was looking for himself. Versus Barbos up at the front, sitting very, very close to each other. Taking different approaches into the drift though. And Snow looks to have pulled out the lead through that series of turns.
Yeah, well, it is Snow out ahead. He needs to keep that position here because Barbos and Ratchet right on their tails, although Barbos falls back a little bit further. And, well, you know how any team now can pounce on any mistake that you make. So Snow and Glass, despite the fact that they are really contesting for this one, Snow is out in 1st place. You never know what's going to happen here. Barbos and Ratchet, they need to make this time difference up. Barbos is so far back now that it doesn't look like it's going to happen unless there's a big mistake. BS+ Competition look like they're going to take agility dash here and start to bring the comeback around. It's exactly what they needed. They give themselves a new lease on life.
Snow with 128.7.
That's a good way to end it.
Really was the difference maker this time around. For as much as Ratchet stepped up a little bit on back and forth this time around, wasn't making the mistakes that were there, Snow has done even better, stepping up on agility dash, getting 128.8s consistently, 128.7 to round things out there. Even Barbos wasn't looking that good when we visited agility dash the 1st time around. I'm impressed, you gotta say it.
Yeah.
Full credit to Snow for bringing us to this map 4. Can it continue on map 4? We're back to parkour, and this was again SCHWEINEAIM Racing pulling out a win last time around, but BS+ Competition, they're the team that has picked it both times. They're the team that in theory feel confident that if they run it back, things will go differently.
Yeah, BS Plus competition, you know, they really, really... how many times am I going to say they need this, obviously, because it is do or die right now. But just in general, this is such an important one for them, parkour, because they need to prove that they can get this one done right here and right now against SCHWEINEAIM Racing. Because, again, Ratchet and Barbaros are very competent on this map. It's one of these ones where it's not really like one team has the advantage, I don't think.
It is a map where, well, anything can happen on that parkour identity, and it usually does, because sometimes Murray Walkerisms are all that's left to you when you're talking about cars going fast on a track. And look, it holds true on the parkour identity, right? I think we see more crashes on this identity than pretty much any of the others.
Yeah, well, here it is now. Barbaros and Ratchet in first and second place, but it's not by much whatsoever. We are seeing a 10th grouping between all of these players. No clips on the bobsled either means that everybody is going to be neck and neck moving towards... Oh, wait, Barbaros did clip the bobsled. Oh, wait, everybody's falling back a little bit. Snow just about makes it onto the jump, but he's not going to have a lot of speed whatsoever. It is going to be Barbaros versus Glass towards the finish line. Glass pulls out ahead just a little bit. Oh, Ratchet, maybe go for the flip now. No, he doesn't. He stays behind. He's content with second place. This time around, he doesn't go for a repeat of his heroics, but it's a draw to start things off.
I miss the old Ratchet. Old Ratchet of last week would have
The old Ratchet of 1 week ago, yeah.
Probably even it was 6 days. No, was it on the Saturday? I don't even remember. Look, it would have been cool to see it again, but I think first round off the map, it's fine to just be consistent, get that draw, not risk anything. And it does mean that we are tied at 1-1 after one round, a relatively clean round for the most part, apart from all the mistakes that we had leading up until the identity. But no round-ending crashes, no big mistakes, just a few errors leading in.
Yeah, as you say that, we do have Snow down by 1.5 seconds. We have Glass down by 1 second. So things are looking quite nice for SCHWEINEAIM Racing to pull out ahead here on this map. If they stay consistent through to the very end, obviously there's not really a way to safe parkour. You can't do that, but at the very least, you can make sure that you're not going to clip the wall on the dirt turn by trying to take too much speed. And that's pretty much the last place that you can safe on this one, and both players get through it unscathed, but Glass does catch back up because Ratchet took a little less of that outside. He has less speed, but he stays out ahead for the time being. Can Glass make up that time difference? It's going to come down to this final jump. He's right behind. Ratchet stays out ahead by just a little bit. Oh, it comes down to 22 thousandths in the end. But Ratchet stays consistent through to the end. It's a good round.
Very close.
If Glass and Snow hadn't made those early mistakes, that would have been a completely different story.
Absolutely. I mean, I genuinely saw the inside line. I thought that he was going to catch him, but Ratchet ended up landing just a little bit earlier and was able to hold the race to the line, pick up the ace as well. SCHWEINEAIM Racing 4-1, feeling confident now on parkour. That is where you start to feel good about yourself. And once again, they are out to an early lead. It's about a 10th. It's not much, but it is something. It is tangible. It is there. And they'll be looking to keep this one all the way through until the end of the map. A mistake from Glass, that's going to help them out.
Yeah, again, Ratchet and Barbaros are in a 1-2. As long as they do what they did last round, nothing can go wrong for them. You saw that they played it a little more safe, obviously. You know, that's a very, very subjective kind of thing to look at, but it did seem like they were taking it a little slower and making sure that they got through those jumps. This time around does cost Barbaros second place. Snow moves up. Can he catch up to Ratchet as well and force out a draw no matter what? He does have more speed. Maybe he'll get it done. No! He lands a little bit more sideways than Ratchet does, and that might even give the place up to Barbaros. Oh my lord, it's 14 thousandths. Once again, it comes down to nothing whatsoever. But SCHWEINEAIM Racing do take one extra point.
These are some great rounds so far. So close at the finish line twice in a row. But as you said, importantly, it is SCHWEINEAIM Racing coming out with the edge both times. And that's partly because while it's been very close between Ratchet and Snow in second place, Barbaros is just out in front by 3/4 tenths of a second and is comfortably getting these wins for SCHWEINEAIM Racing. That's exactly what you need to do, right? Is pick up those consistent first places. And then if your teammate is getting seconds, thirds, then the match starts to feel pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it seems like BS Plus Competition are faster on the identity. Both teams are relatively consistent on it, but BS Plus Competition are faster on it. They're falling down pre-identity once again, and suddenly they have to catch up right at the end.
There
And there's a
Barbos.
wheel clip. Okay, well, there we go. That's the pre-identity mistake we've been waiting for this whole time, and suddenly it's a 1-2 position for BS Plus Competition. This is exactly what they need now to catch up. Can Ratchet get rid of that chance for them? He's got less speed moving into the identity. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, barring a mistake from either of these players, and Ratchet is the one who makes the mistake. He does not make the jump. Glass and Snow, they sail through to an ace in this round. It's a good time as well, and it brings them to 6-5.
That's a great round from BS Plus Competition. Both of them at the same time step up those times. 102.7, followed 2/10 behind by Snow as well. Cone, not quite. Ratchet missed it.
Hey, unlucky.
Well, you know, that's maybe they wouldn't have gotten aced if he'd crashed the cone after both of his opponents had already crossed
They would
the
have
line.
retroactively not given the ace away.
100%.
Yeah. They would have traveled back in time because of the pure luck that the cone gives you and won that round.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Absolutely. It's a
fair
time
enough.
travel cone now as well as
I mean, look, hey, we can't rule out time travel, I don't think. I don't know. Can we?
I think
I'm not a
can.
quantum physicist. I don't know.
Okay, if time travel is real, we're going to get visited by me from 5 minutes in the future now.
Well, that was anticlimactic. Anyway, SCHWEINEAIM Racing on the edge of track point here. Can they get it through to the end? So many times it's been consistent, but Ratchet last time he did make the mistake on the identity. He needs to get this one done and stay with his teammate Barbos has been doing most of the hard work here on this map, and once again he is in first place. Let's see if he can get it done. Oh no, that's a big mistake. Glass falls back even further. Snow is now the one trying to keep up, and SCHWEINEAIM Racing may just be moving to 9 points if they can keep it clean. This time around it is good from them. Snow, he doesn't have enough speed to catch up. It doesn't look like that's happening whatsoever. He's down by a couple of tenths from these players. Barbos and Ratchet, there we go. That's the ace that they wanted. Now it's only 1 point for them that gets this done.
Very ace heavy round on parkour that we've had so far. I think 3-4 aces in total.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's BS Plus Competition. We're coming off the worst for the wear. They do need the ace. They need a win after that as well. And that'd only be good enough to bring us to overtime. Right now, it is ace or nothing on the round. And SCHWEINEAIM Racing, they fired right back with some very solid times in that last round. Both of them stepping up and showing that on pace, they can match what BS Plus Competition had brought to the table in the round previous.
There we go. This is where it really matters now. I know it shows that it's a best of 7 here. It is not. This is now really do or die for BS Plus Competition. They need this map right here, right now. They pulled it out on agility dash. Can they do it this time? Now they're down by 4 points. It's a very, very difficult situation to be in, especially when Barbos is screaming out ahead, well ahead of his opposition. Ratchet is now taking 2nd place as well. Barbos, he doesn't quite get as much speed through the jump there, and Glass does catch up. Can he? I mean, he can't do enough. Snow is so far behind at this point. Although Ratchet has respawned, he's fallen back. Barbos, can you keep it clean through to the very end? Just get top 2. It's all good. It's done right there. SCHWEINEAIM Racing, they get 10 points. BS Plus Competition with 6, and it's all over.
Congratulations to SCHWEINEAIM Racing. They take down BS Plus Competition in a grand total of 8 maps. 3-1, 3-1 to secure their match against Domino Sun in the next round of the lower bracket of the Trackmania Challenger League playoffs. And of course, Twiggy, they secure their place in the All-Star Championship as well.
Yep.
It was slightly different fashion both times around. A different map that BS Plus Competition won. They chose to run it back completely identically in match 2. The fact that they won a different map the second time around, maybe it wasn't the worst decision in the world, but ultimately the score ending up being the same. Maybe things could have been different.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Look, I think we criticized them already for doing that. Obviously, you never know what's going to happen. If they felt most comfortable with that idea of going for the same maps, and that's what they went with. I can't criticize that if that's what you felt like you had the best chance of doing, but it did not work out for them. I think once again, SCHWEINEAIM Racing are just so clean and so consistently fast on slowdown that map was in the pocket for them no matter what. You know, it seemed like Ratchet was... He obviously, like, there were a couple times where he crashed on slowdown. There were a couple times where he didn't have a great round. But when it really mattered, right at the end there, he pulled out almost a world record time once again. And yeah, that was something only Ratchet could bring to the table in that lobby.
Very, very quick. I think scary, though, for Domino Sun next week. Barbos looked quick on the maps that they wanted to bring this week as well. Agility Dash, maybe a scary pick if you are going up against them. Slowdown definitely is. I'm excited to see what